Ugh, I woke up with a sore throat this morning, desperately trying to convince myself that it's not COVID, which I'm sure it isn't. It's fine. It's fine. Hi friends. Today's video, we are going to be trying out some new makeup. This purchase was absolutely inspired by the brand Compendium. If you haven't seen the series yet, I will link it up here. I started making these lists for the brand Compendium series a while back, and this brand was originally on the list of brands that I'm lusting after. However, I caved before I could even get around to filming that video. I kept looking at this website and I was just like, I gotta do it. I gotta pull the trigger. Again, I've been watching a lot of Teresa is Dead. And I think what set me over the edge is when she demoed this brand. I just immediately got the grabby hands. It was like a knee-jerk reaction. I debated on talking about it anyway on the list as if I hadn't already received my package from them, but I thought that would be a bit insincere, so I just took them off the list. This is a boring story. Anyway, today's video is going to be a first impressions of a bunch of lethal cosmetics. I'm so excited. In this little palette is a bunch of single shadows and a couple bronzers, and we're gonna get into it right now. So if that sounds like fun to you, then please keep on watching and let's get started. So the funny thing about this purchase is that I've spent the last couple of videos kind of harping on brands that sell single shadows. And it felt a little hypocritical because this was literally just sitting on my shelf waiting to be reviewed. Every time I said something bad about a single shadow, I would just like glance up and to the left, and this was just sort of staring at me. But the difference between, let's say, JD Glow Cosmetics website and Lethal Cosmetics website is that they do the most genius thing ever. They have this whole option on the website to build your own palette and to be able to drag and drop the shadows into the palette so that you can view the layout to get a real feeling for exactly what you're purchasing. Whatever object permanence I was having with other single shadow websites, I was not having with this shopping experience. It was really lovely. Also, the magnetic palette that they were selling wasn't ludicrously expensive. I'll leave the price on the screen for the grand total of what this cost and also what the palette itself cost. With all the product that's in here, it didn't feel like a whole lot of money. Plus, this is an indie makeup brand, so already the prices are gonna be a little higher. All that being said though, I honestly feel like this was such a good value and I would heartily recommend going and building your own palette. It was so much fun. They've got a bunch of different sizes of palettes that you can choose from. They're not all this big, but I had to go whole hog because there was just too many eyeshadows I wanted to test out. Anyway, so we should take a look at what's inside here. I love that there's a mirror inside. I bought 17 different eyeshadows.
Hi, editing Maddie here. Interesting thing that I did not even notice until I started editing this video. Funny thing, so while I was filming, I thought that I had just purchased 17 eyeshadows and for some reason left one space blank. Then I realized while I was trying to rebuild this palette again on the website to get you the full price, I realized that when you build a palette, they will give you a discount on the palette if you fill it. And because I only paid $130 Canadian, that means that I must have filled the entire palette with eyeshadow. So I pulled up that invoice. Lo and behold, 18 eyeshadows on the receipt. And there's the total for the palette. So I went back to the website, rebuilt the palette that I had ordered, and then tried to configure it the exact way I had it in the video. And look, I'm missing an eyeshadow. Anyway, just thought that was super weird because I didn't even notice that. So that's a bit of a bummer. I'm fairly certain I unpackaged and put together the palette properly, and I'm 99% sure that I did not just accidentally throw away an entire eyeshadow. So one of my eyeshadows just mysteriously has gone missing, or they never sent it to me in the first place. Luckily, it wasn't like one of the duochromes or the metallics. It was probably just one of the mid-tone browns that I ordered. So it's not like a huge loss. Just thought that was interesting. Anyway, editing Maddie out.
Two bronzers, one a more cool tone contour and one a more warm toned bronzer. I just thought the range of neutral mattes were so interesting to me. Like the undertones of all of them for some reason really grabbed me. A lot of them probably on camera look really similar, but in person these two are a little bit different, as are like these two here and these two down here. Don't ask me why I ended up going for so many neutrals. Me once again being a hypocrite, being like, you know, I really wish that like like brands would step outside the box more and stop making neutral palettes. And here I am being like, I built my own neutral palette, but I also picked up a couple of really interesting shades here. Like these shimmers look sublime. I have this nice little mustard shade here and this little navy blue. I definitely could have gone a little bit more colorful, and I think my next purchase from Lethal, if I like the formula, will definitely be something a bit brighter. But I'm so excited to dive into these. I have no idea what kind of look I'm gonna do, but I'm thinking I kind of want to go cool toned and green up in this little quad that I made here. I really just want an excuse to try this crazy green shimmer. It's been actual months that this has been sitting here on my shelf, so I'm ready. Let's bust this open, zoom in, and play with some makeup. So that's why I don't have bronzer on today, looking a little bit flat and pasty, but we're gonna fix that right now, and I'm so excited. I've recently fallen deeply in love with the Melt Sculpt stack for contour and bronzer, so this has pretty big shoes to fill, but I just loved the tonal quality of both of these. I thought they were just stunning, especially for fair skin. Of course, they make deeper tones as well, but I just thought it was really nice of them to cater also to the ultra fair. It's kind of hard sometimes to find contours that work for the ultra fair that don't just look like gray eyeshadow, because all of the shade names are on the backs of each pan. I don't think I could even attempt to wrench these out of here to name off the shade names for you, because the magnet in here is really freaking strong. But I think we're going to start off by contouring with this shade here, and let's just give it a whirl on the cheekbone. So there's quite a lot of pigment right off the hop here, which could be a bad thing, but it seems to be blending out quite nicely. That's such a great color. When I was looking at it in the pan, I thought maybe it would be too light for me, but it's kind of the perfect tone. I'm also not wearing any cream bronzer, which is something that I normally do before I set everything, but I just wanted to give these the old college try, just to see if they could stand on their own. This is really doing the job. Not too cool, but not too warm. And that did not take a whole lot of building up. That was kind of my first dip in, and it's not stripy either or patchy. It just kind of softly blended. That's nice. And if you're ever trying to blend it down the neck and you can't tell if there's a line of demarcation right here, all you have to do is suck your chin in, and then you can kind of see where you need to keep shading. It's not very attractive, I get it. But if you want to look blended, sometimes you gotta pull ugly faces. Let's see how this looks on the schnoz. Nice and subtle. I mean, I like my nose to begin with. I'm not a person who feels the need to go in and carve out a whole new nose, because I feel like I have been pretty genetically blessed in that arena, but I do like a little subtle snatch, especially just to emphasize the little button and pinch this in just slightly. For me, that's perfect. All right, I don't have to, but just to test it out, I'm going to dip into the warmer bronzer up here and just kind of flush out this cheek a little bit more. I feel like personally for me, if I'm only going in with contour, I start to look a little bit ghostly, and I like having just a touch of heat right on the back end of the cheekbone, just to give it a little bit more of a blend, and just so the contour doesn't look too severe as well. So here's the difference between this side and that side, just a little bit of warmth. Lovely blendability, really, really nice and soft. Just a little swipe on the forehead, and then let's tap this straight onto the bridge of the nose to soften those freckles just a little bit. All right, let's dive into some shadows. So I'm gonna stick to the quad that I kind of made here. I know these two grays look very similar, but this one definitely has more of a red undertone. So I think we'll start building the crease with these two here. But first, I'm just gonna throw on some primer. All right, I think I do want to do a halo eye moment. Maybe still drag it out a little bit, wing it out, but have it closed all the way off. So let's start in with that first gray shade, which if you know me, you know I love a good gray eyeshadow, which seems like such a weird and boring thing to say, but I think they look stunning as crease shades. This shade seems to be blending out really nicely. I think I want to do one of those spotlight halos where the shimmer goes all the way up to the brow bone. This is such a beautiful warm toned gray as well. So I'm actually noticing that it's taking a little while to build this up, which isn't a negative. I just for some reason had the impression that these would be a lot more pigmented straight out the gate, but they're actually quite buildable, which is a good thing. Buildable just essentially means easier to work with. All right, I'm gonna try and really deepen it up now with this darker gray here. This one's quite pretty. And actually, again, quite soft. This look is gonna come out a lot softer than I anticipated. Blending beautifully though with that other gray. Into that warmer gray for a quick sec, just to blend this outer edge. So definitely to start with, I'm gonna take this green just on my finger and we're going to tap that into the center. That is simply stunning. There's a light green reflect and also more of like a tealy deep ocean green reflect. Ooh, definitely some fallout. Back into that gray just to press into these edges here. I love that. It's so pretty. Ah! All right, I'm gonna grab a brush and some setting spray. And I'm gonna pick this little mint green up and try and lighten up the very center. And I'm gonna drag that all the way up to the top and then blend that out. I just love this style of halo eye because it just makes your lids look glossy. Take a little bit more of that darker green just on the edge here. Reinforce that a little bit. I'm into it. For the waterline, let's do this one from the Hocus Pocus collection. Black Flame Candle. That might be a bit too foresty green. Let's layer on top a little bit of aqua green. This is the NYX retractable eyeliner. That'll work. And just for fun, I want to take this lavender shade for the inner corner highlight. I know it doesn't really go, but I just want to see what it looks like. Oh, but it's so pretty. All right, I think I'm gonna hop off camera here. The lower lash line is just gonna be more of the same. And then I will throw on some lashes. And then when we come back, we will finish the rest of the look. Okay, all finished up. Lashes are on. These are Rise and Grind by Boldface. I picked them because they're quite round. They don't wing out on the outer corners, which is good for a halo eye. It's hilarious because they look ridiculous in the package, but on my gigantic eyeballs, they actually look quite subdued, like almost natural. I think I would switch these out for something a little bit darker, a little bit bolder if I had the time. I want to tie in the blush with my inner corner highlight to make it seem more purposeful. So I want to go with a little bit of a lavender moment. So I was thinking maybe pulling out the Fairy Blush palette. I also have this little blush from Animal Crossing, which is kind of like a cooler toned pink. So we'll go in with that first. The glitter is kind of giving me PTSD. All right, let's go in with just a hint of amethyst, and then I might blend it a little bit with rose quartz here. All right, for highlight, I also have something new to try. This is, again, a purchase inspired by the brand Compendium. I knew that series was gonna be dangerous. I picked up some Kaleidos highlighters, and I did not want to take them out of this little box. They are so precious. I picked up 4 of them, and I just love how adorable they look in this little box. I just couldn't bear to take them out of it. I picked up Solar Sailor, Moon Cruiser, which is the one we're gonna be using today, Skywalker, and of course, I could not resist the Space Age Prophecy. Like, I don't think I want to use this one today because I think I want to keep it in the lavender lilac family. The reason I don't want to use it in this look, even though it does have a green shift to it, is because I think the orange and gold shift is just way too strong to go with the rest of the palette of this look. Today, the one that we'll be using is Moon Cruiser. It's blue and purple. Look at that. Look how beautiful that shine is. It is unreal. I think for now, I'm just going to go in with my finger because I think I'll get the most payoff that way. And I'm just gonna start tapping it into the skin. That is bonkers. Look at that. What's so interesting about this formula is that it doesn't leave a cast when your face is in shadow. I mean, it is a bit too on the blue side for this to truly go or be cohesive with this look, but I just couldn't resist. I could not sit on these any longer. I look like an alien. I'm not mad. Let's take a little bit of that onto the inner corner to try and tie that in a little bit. I do think I need to top it with something a little bit brighter just to kind of counteract that crazy blue. All right, let's take the Ornate highlight from Hank and Henry. It is a pure white, so let's see if this does what I need it to do. Yeah, I feel like that lifted it just a teeny bit. gonna layer on a little bit more of that blush combo. We'll do another nude lip. Surprise, surprise. Let's line with Nude Truffle. So I think I want to go like super glossy, super nude. So let's do the Bite Beauty French Press Lip Gloss in Flat White. Oof, I always forget how much I love this lip gloss. It is so bitchy. All right, I think I want to tap just a little bit of Moon Cruiser into the gloss. I think we're done. Let's give her a spray and call it a day. All right, I'm gonna call this done. This is the look all complete. I think in hindsight, I should have used the Space Age Prophecy highlighter and then gone with a warmer toned blush instead of trying to keep it all very cool toned. I think using that lavender shade in the inner corner kind of threw me off a bit because I do feel like this look is a bit disjointed. I'm still happy with it. Also, it was really fun to play with Moon Cruiser, but I am super happy with how these shadows performed. I mean, obviously the shimmers are beautiful, but the mattes as well were really easy to work with, really buildable, not overly pigmented. So far, I would absolutely recommend this formula to pretty much anyone. I don't want to say I recommend these to a beginner because I feel like that's a little condescending, but they are really easy to work with, so I wouldn't be afraid of them if that was something that you were concerned about. But now that I've played with some of them, I really want to dive into more of these. So if you want to see more of these shadows, please let me know. There's just so much to explore here. I really feel like we could get way more out of this. I want to know, have you ordered anything from Lethal Cosmetics? Have you tried anything from them? If you've tried them, what do you think of the formula? I would love to know all of your thoughts. Also, let me know your favorite shades from them because I definitely want to do another order from Lethal and try and pick up some more vibrant, bright colors. They also sell blushes and I really want to try them. All right, I think that's it for me. I'm going to head out. But before I do, please let me rattle off the spiel to you. Here are the many ways you can help out my channel. You can give this video a huge thumbs up. You can comment down below what you thought of everything. You can subscribe. Any and all engagement with this video is super crucial to its success in the algorithm. It is also really important for my growth as a small creator. So if you have a few spare seconds in your day, please engage with this video. You can follow me on other social media. I will leave those right there. If you want to financially support me as an artist, please go check out my Patreon. The link is down below in the description box, along with a bunch of petitions to sign and some places to donate to the AAPI community. All right, folks, with that, please stay safe, stay sane, wash your hands, wear a mask, stay home if you can, just keep doing your best, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Ow.